So today I'm talking about Apple. This story is going to be very lengthy story because there are so many stories attached to this company, right? Now today Apple market cap is $3.65 trillion, and it has a book value or enterprise value of $3.70 trillion. Now Apple has a PE ratio of 33.3, I think, and price to sales ratio of 8.8. Now when the finance guys say a PE ratio, it means how much investors are buying for every dollar the company makes from selling their products, right? Okay. Now, how did Apple get to this level? If you are to compare Apple market cap to African GDP, relatively, Apple economy is bigger than African economy. Right? So the question we ask ourselves is, and Apple has been in tech industry since 1976, right? Okay, so for you to be able to understand Apple company or story, you need to go back to know a bit about two genius guys. The one is Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. These two duos or these two guys founded Apple back in 1976. Now, let's talk about Steve Wozniak. He is an electronic engineer and a programmer. So his parents sent him to University of Colorado back in 1969. But him being a hacker or a programmer, went in time, they hacked the school computer system, causing chaos and problem in the school. So when the school policy executives had a meeting on this case, they expelled Steve Wozniak from the school. So he came back. Right? So he found a job at HP Computers. Now, back in 1971, Steve Jobs was in high school, and he also loves to talk about electronic components or electronics. So there is a guy called Fernandez who once upon a time introduced Steve Jobs to Steve Wozniak. He said, hey, you know this dude, he's an electronic guy. He's been sacked from, he's been dismissed from university. You are Steve, he's also Steve, so you guys can carry on with your electronics stuffs. So they met and they became friends. So you used to visit your friend, you come to his house, you also do the same thing. That's how friendship is like. And then Steve Wozniak loves building stuffs. Fun. Steve Jobs is a visionary guy. He wanted to do something, to shock the world or make this world a better place to live. When he came across Steve Wozniak's lives and he realized that, oh, this guy can build all these stuff, then the friendship became very tight, right? Like the cohesion was very, very tight. So they keep having discussion. What are you building? What's your intent of building this? Blah, 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 blah. And then in 71, 72, Steve read a magazine that was talking about something called Blue Box. So he showed the magazine to Steve Jobs, and it was like, okay, so we can build our version of the Blue Box. And what is the Blue Box going to do? Picking out phone calls. So with the Blue Box, you can make a phone call without paying, even a long distance phone call. This is illegal, right? So they started building Blue Box, selling to friends and few folks. Now let's look at something. You've been dismissed, or they've expelled you from the university, and then you coming back, you are building something that is illegal, right? So they started selling Blue Box for, I think then it was $150. They were making money out of it, because probably you can call somebody from Germany or Europe, and you're not paying anything. Just buy 150 device, and you're done with paying huge amount of money for telco providers or telco service providers. We're able to hold on to this business for 3-4 years. And then in 1976, Steve started building computer. Steve was not the engineer. Steve Jobs is not an engineer. Yeah. So the idea, 1979, when they make money from the Blue Box, they started to form a company that is Apple Computers. 1976. So they started working on first Apple, that is Apple 1. When they're done with it, they exhibited the Apple 1 on, like, let's say, a tech fair, a tech conference. There is a guy who also wants to start a computer business called Byte. So during their exhibition, the guy was interested in these two young men's idea. So he asked them to build 50 units of the Apple 1 for him. There comes business. So they started building Apple 1 inside Steve Jobs' parents' garage. They're building 50 computers. So some of people telling you, hey, they were building at Steve Jobs' parents' house. And remember, Steve Wozniak is also having a house. So definitely some of the jobs is going to go on there at Steve Wozniak, shortly Woz house. Right? Okay. So they supply the Apple 1 to their business partner. And it was interesting. And then they realized that, hey, if we're able to do that, we have to upgrade on Apple 2. Now, before we even move to Apple 2, so Apple 1 is the one on your screen. It was just, let's say, take it like a system unit. So it wasn't having a monitor. So they built it in a way that there is input and output you can connect to a normal television, and then you start operating the computer. That's Apple 1 for you on your screen. Right? And they started making sales out of it. So they decided to build Apple 2.